Welcome to Solid Joe's MCM makeover. And after I'd removed all the varnish, that's what she looked like. Now, I could have left her there, but I really wanted to put this decoupage on her. This is the Telegram by Jonathan Mark Mendes. There's me giving it a trial. So before I put any decoupage on any surface, I was painting in white. So I'm just masking out the drawers here, popping some white paint on. And letting it dry before I put the decoupage on. Now, I did make a mistake with this piece. I did not seal the wood beforehand, and when I put the white paint on, it started bleeding through. But it wasn't apparent until I'd actually got the decoupage paper on. Thank goodness the bleed through was quite uniformed. So I just left it because it looked quite cool. The paper is actually a brown and a grey colour, but it turned out a creamy colour, which you'll see at the end. So I took the drawers out, spritzed the drawers a little bit with some water, and I'm coming in here with the Posh Chalk infuser, a very thin layer. This is just to adhere the decoupage to. I'm popping the decoupage on. Now, if you line your decoupage up well, it does go on relatively easy. And I always use our Posh Chalk Smooth and brush. It's a wide brush, and it really does help to smooth out any creases or get rid of any bubbles that may be created under the surface. And to be honest, our decoupage paper is very easy to apply. And I just got a Stanley knife, cut through the two drawers, and I then cut round the drawers, leaving a little overhang, just a little bit of room to play with. And then I'm using the Posh Chalk infuser to seal it. Now, at this stage, you can also spritz your paper with water. Just helps the infuser go into the paper more, and it really does solidify with the paint and the paper. Once that's done, I left it to dry before I came back in with some sandpaper to get rid of those edges of paper that I'd left. Always sand away from the surface. You don't want to pull your paper up. And then once the paper's been released, you can just go over the surface and smooth down any rough edges. So now it's time for the trims. Which trims? I got loads of fancy trims out, but I decided that the MCM, it would have detracted away from the simplicity of the MCM. Studs, no, lovely trims, but not for this piece. So I ended up using one of our very plain trims. It's just a half round trim. And I decided I was going to put 3 rows on either side of the gap in between the papers, in between the drawers. So I always use a good quality wood glue, guys, when you're applying your WoodUbend trims, and always warm them up first. And then they're easy to cut with a Stanley knife. And then once I'd got them on, I really did push them in place, you know, I really pressed them home, so I was sure that they were on the surface and that they were going to stay there. Once I'd done that, I took a bit of sandpaper and just straightened up the bottoms of the trims, because I had cut them a little bit wonky. I was just straightening that out there. Then it was time for some Posh Chalk pigments. Now I started off with copper, and then I got halfway through and I thought, this is not the right colour. I spoke to Jonathan, he said no. So I went with the Byzantine gold, mixed with the Posh Chalk infuser again. Now the great thing about this material is you can put as little or as much infuser into the powder. You make your own mixture, come up with your own consistency, whether that be a paste, a paint or a wash. And I painted that gap there, and I also did the undercarriage and the legs in the Byzantine gold. Then I decided that I wanted to paint the WoodUbend trim. Later on you'll see me doing that. Here I'm just applying the paint and the infuser and the paper onto the top drawer. I'm just going in with my dry brush. And once that was dry, again, I didn't use a Stanley knife to cut the paper. I sanded it off. See that? But it needs to be dry, guys, before you can do this. Nice and gently, and just... So here I'm taking the masking tape off. And then I decided I wanted to paint the WoodUbend trim, so I had to remask it on the other side of the trims. There you go. And I came in with the Byzantine gold and just painted the trims in the same colour. I really didn't know how to seal this piece. I didn't want to start playing around with stains or varnishes. I thought the wood was just so nice in its original colour. So I just used our patina extending wax. It's just a clear wax. And it really brought out the colour of the natural wood. I gave it a couple of coats of that. And that's it, folks, I think. Yeah, I'm just finishing up the side there. And that, my friends, is it. Thanks ever so much for watching. And I'll see you in the next tutorial. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye.